from France to everyone in the room. I was a senior executive, yes, in IBM, and I am also a mother of two. And one of my boy is also disabled, so I have had these ups and downs that were, discussed just a few minutes ago. I want to talk to you about, yes, our meditation is bringing the awareness, this powerful awareness, to be the best leader, but also to have the most impact on the organization. So I will cover a few items on the benefit of meditation and the one I faced, very positively in the last few years. And also the 3 or 4 key items that have really marked myself, but also my team and a lot of peers and colleagues I have introduced meditation to. So let me share some visuals so it will help, to connect the dots. So I will share a presentation. Okay. So we talk about organizational excellence. And my aim here is to convince you on how meditation is bringing you the power to obtain the self-growth, but also to have the maximum and optimum impact on organization. And as you can see here, clearly, you have one part, which is the meditation is bringing you this capability of growing to greatness, and this is unlimited. The ability to learn continuously, and we heard that from the, youth panel also, and you heard that probably this morning in your holistic session. For a great leader, you need vision. You need also to define purpose for yourself, to know why you are waking up every morning, at 6 a.m. and sometimes working until like 21 p.m. or let's say 9 p.m. Without discontinuing, with the focus and the concentration. You need to know why you are doing that in your life. You need strategic thinking, because to get to this vision, to get to this purpose, you need to know how to organize yourself, your business, your colleagues, your day, your time. So time management and managing your priority also are critical. And you need to communicate powerfully with a lot of stakeholders around you, and continuously also talk to your own family and friends. So balance the life and the work. The optimum impact is what, when you get an interview to get a job, they will looking at that. It's not anymore IQ that they are looking at. It's the ability to handle customers, business partners, to maximize the partnership, the communication, the integration, the inclusion with colleagues, with peers, and also with all the stakeholders, because depending on what business you are in or what work you are doing, on what association you are working or foundation, you have investors, you have media partners, you have a lot of people you need to interact with. And being aware is critical to do that properly. Then, of course, for people who are managing team directly, this is how to make the best of every individual. Give them the job satisfaction, let them grow, and make the most cohesive, nearly family-like team, which will be able to climb the Everest when it's needed. Process and agility is part of the job, is how to improve constantly the way we do the business, the effectiveness. And finally, this is very critical, for instance, in IBM to grow and to be promoted and to get more and more, bigger business, if I need to manage, is how do you organize a team? How do you organize your business? How do you balance the activities across a country, across the world, across people, and so on? And the resilience, we heard about it, is really critical in any crisis. So clearly, what we heard about is The meditation is the tool to give you this awareness. And I understood that, 8 years ago, and it really changed the way I was doing business. And it worked very well for me as I continue to grow in IBM. And this is the power that you have, is instead of reacting to event, reacting with limited control or no control, you have, thanks to meditation, the ability to develop the capability of having this space where you can regulate, if I may, yourself, your emotion, and then be able to respond instead of reacting. And that gives you a lot of freedom, a lot of freedom, in any situation at work, but also in a family and with your children or with your friend. That's what is helping you grow. And that's what a mindful leader can be. Instead of losing your mind because somebody is yelling at you, you can stay calm, collected, and managing the emotion, stopping maybe the overwhelming emotion, like you feel like a child, but you are not a child anymore. You're a business leader. You need to control and then decide how you will respond to this specific crisis situation, for instance. So the few items that meditation are really helping a lot are the following. The first one is the emotional intelligence. It's really ability to identify and regulate your own emotion, not losing your mind. There is a crisis, there is a client who has an outage, you are in, information system, you are supposed to help. It's 2 a.m. in the morning, you must be able to quiet yourself, take the right decision, have clarity on what you need to do, who you need to call, how to make the client confident that it will be resolved, for instance. Make people work together, give them guidance. So that's how you can do if you manage your emotion. And there is also understanding the emotion of others. I have seen so many meetings where, there was a salesperson talking, and looking sometimes at their iPhone or looking at their computer and continue to talk. The client was in front of them. They didn't even notice that the client was starting to be a bit frustrated, a bit annoyed, and was going to stop the conversation. If it was going like that, then the client couldn't say a word. Okay, that's the lack of awareness and reading emotion. So many people I have seen going even to a business meeting, but also sometimes to a lunch meeting with clients or partners, and having sometimes 2 phones open face up, near their plate, for instance. How can you be focused on somebody else? Meditation will bring you the mindfulness. The mindfulness is when you are at work, the ability to stay aware and not do these kind of things, but be really focused on the person in front of you. And it makes miracle inside the business teams, but also with everybody around. And it applies also at home, of course, with your partners, with your kids, anybody from the family. And these are the critical quality that we are looking for in good, powerful, growing organization. Of course, diffusing conflicts is critical. Organizing, a better communication among people is critical. But it's only a mindful leader who will realize, for instance, that, they may not have the right tone. I remember a very senior executive in IBM who had the courage to register a conference call where she had to talk to her team, review their business results, and give guidance. After the call was done, she said she listened to that call and she was horrified because she said, if I would be my team, I would just run away and try to find another job. Oh my gosh, the tone I have is horrible. And then she started to do meditation and try to fix that, become aware of the tone she was using. That's part of emotional intelligence. The second item, very critical, that really helped myself, but also my team, was this notion of developing a growth mindset. The growth or fixed mindset is the way people are looking at intelligence, talent, and learning. And there are two very different ways of looking at that. The first one is the fixed mindset. Is most of the people believe that your talent, your intelligence comes from, birth. You have not done anything, to earn it, and it will stay like that all your life. Of course, because this is your strong belief, and you don't know this is your belief because maybe you are not meditating and you are not aware of this. You see that why should I do some efforts to learn something else because I'm not good at that. Mom and dad, they told me that we are super not good at all, learning music. Nobody is a musician in the family since, very long time. So I wish I would play guitar, but, I know I won't be able to do it, so I will not make the effort to do it. I'm not good at communicating on stage. So I prefer to be in a job, back office, and not seeing anybody. We have seen with Sandra so many new meditator, changing totally from telling ourselves they were very shy to taking, online course in Buddha CEO as speaker. So that's something that is powerful when you realize that you are too much on a fixed mindset. And then you move to the growth mindset, which is the fact that we know about brain plasticity. This is what you have probably heard about, this early this morning. The brain is able to develop a lot of new neural circuits as long as you train yourself again and again and again and strengthen these neural circuits. We can learn anything. We just put the effort and we get, the ability to pretty much do and learn what we want. But it creates, efforts. And when we are in this growth mindset, and you tell that to your kids or you educate them with a growth mindset, they will, and like colleagues and, anybody, they will embrace challenges. They will want to learn new things. They will try to find role models and dream about, being like them or meet them and maybe have them mentor. They will find new ways of doing things, and they will accept criticism when criticism is done positively to help them grow. They will ask for it. This is the Paralympics in France, in Paris, as you all know these days, and we just went through the Olympics. All these athletes, when they are interviewed, they had coach and mentors. Many of them said that they were practicing meditation, to manage their emotion and be able to go to the next level. So when you infuse that in an organization, you let people understand that they can grow anywhere. And you have a lot of people who are stuck maybe in one kind of job, and they will want to take risk out of comfort zone, new challenges. People who were told you are going to always be working in India. Well, and they moved to a job. They took a job, in England or in the US. People who were told you are always going to be technical, but then they want to become a project manager and embrace very large new project. Women, I've seen so many women who were told, no, you cannot do this, you cannot do that because, you are a woman and you have your family and so on. But they take out of comfort zone and they grow. And of course, they enjoy it. So that's a very critical aspect of how meditation will help, becoming aware, mindful, and embrace all this knowledge about, developing a growth mindset. The next one is also extremely critical, and very few people are aware of it. And really, for me, mindfulness through meditation gave me this ability to understand this unconscious bias. Unconscious bias, they are unintentional. It's just, shortcut circuits in the brain that will make you associate something to something else, to an idea, to a stereotype, and it can really hurt people or a group of people, and, you can see some of them here, the gender, the accent, sometimes just the name, even the height of some people. I have made some research, and I saw that in the US, about only 14%, 14% of the men are above 6 feet tall. Only 14%. If you take the Fortune 500 in the, and you look at the CEOs, nearly 60%, 58% exactly, are above, above 6 feet tall. So that's like, you are tall, so you are smarter. This is typically an association that is made without any basis. And it's even worse, because we have seen also some surveys saying that, shorter people get less, from a salary standpoint. So just for you to understand that, so it's very profound. It's the people in front of you, like you can see this person interviewing a lady. They don't want any harm. They believe they are very inclusive. They want you to be fine when they do an interview. But they have the unconscious bias about, with no control. This is a lady. She will or she has some young children. She looks young. She looks very young, actually. I have a very important international job to staff, but she won't be able to do it. So let's make a nice fake interview, and so on. So this interviewer wants to be nice. He has an unconscious bias, and it's extremely frustrating for the person who is trying to get the job and is ready to take a lot of challenges and risk, because maybe she has a growth mindset also. So that's these things that mindfulness, thanks to meditation, give you this awareness to sometimes, as much as possible, recognize when you have an unconscious bias. It's very, very important in a good organization to have that, especially because you might organize your team in a way that is not the best for the organization. For instance, you might be always hiring people in a team that are the same. They come from the same place, they have the same experience, they talk the same way, plus, they fell into a conformity, a bias, which is, even if it's not really what I think, but I want to be like everybody else, so I'm gonna say like everybody else. The same thing. Of course, a good organization must have very diverse people. People who are able to challenge what is said, to challenge details. It was very important for me, for instance, to have people from very, very diverse, origins, diverse backgrounds, and let also the newcomers, be able to talk, have a say at the table, because they have brand new eyes on things, and they can remark stuff that we don't see because it's 5 years we have been there. So very critical, to be aware of this unconscious bias. I encourage you to learn about that, and make sure that, you can see how you can detect them. The one that I see here, confirmation bias, is, maybe you have seen that around you or for yourself. When we believe in something strongly about, it can be politics, can be organization, it can be whatever, climate change and so on, we have a trend to read things that only are the same way that we believe. So we are in this confirmation bias because everything we read say the same thing that we think. So we continue to think that we are right. We are not challenging ourselves. And in business, it's wrong. We need always, in an agile way, to challenge everything we do. And we need to invite people very different to challenge, and don't go into this confirmation bias. Finally, if you get all this together, the emotional intelligence, the growth mindset, and working through meditation to have this awareness of our unconscious bias, you are in the best place as meditator to have a real, inclusive team. It's not just, invite people at the dance from various origins. It's, invite them to actually dance on the floor. Okay. And give them the ability to learn, to be respected, to feel, comfortable in, explaining themselves, communicating, bringing new ideas. Okay. And all of this creates a sense of belongings, which we all, yearn for, and engagement and enthusiasm, and then bring job satisfaction. And when the job satisfaction is there, and there is performance always. Plus, of course, life satisfaction and happiness. So, for instance, I had a team. I know one of my last job, I was given a team where I was told all the big jobs are in the US and all the, let's say, back office kind of job are in India. And 70% of the team was in India. But it had been done like that since very long. So nobody was challenging this. They said, yeah, India, they are not able to lead global business and so on. Well, thanks to meditation and the experience I had been, developing since few years, I became very aware of it, like the very first day, and started to develop programs as a mindful leader to make sure that some very critical job would be developed, in India. Okay. And it worked very well, and people were, embracing challenges and, going to the moon, far beyond what somebody else, maybe in Europe or in the US, would have done. Plus, in that team, there was like 2%, less than 2% of women, and as we were growing and we were hiring, we went up within nearly 2 years, less than 2 years, to 20% and keep growing. So the mindful leader, will be able to get this awareness that will, lead the team to a real inclusiveness. And finally, I want, we talked about mindfulness. Yes, it's very famous in Western countries now. It's part usually of interviews, by the way, when you recruit someone. Are you able to handle yourself, handle situation? What do you practice? And of course, mindfulness is one of the practice that when we interview, we like to hear about, because it means this person, will be able to handle, even difficult situation, to grow, to adapt, and so on, and develop, of course, the emotional quotient that we need. You can scale. We talked about that. We heard about that even from the youth panel. We can scale. Every one of you can do something about it, can make a step. And even if you change the life of one person, which is what, Chandra did to me a few years ago when we were working together on this acquisition of his business in India, it changed my life. Okay. It was maybe not, obvious to start and make that step, but he did it. And I will be, forever grateful to Chandra, to Vani, and of course to Patrick G, that I had the chance to meet. So have your goals in the business. It can be simple, maybe starting with a small place where you meet every Wednesday and have a 30 minutes, meditation. Prepare yourself, so read books, attend the Buddha CEO programs, and you will always find allies in your organization. You will hear, in the next panel from Meche, and she was one of my allies. And thanks to her, she gave me also the courage to keep going, because it's not always easy. People might think you're going to go to Himalayas and become a yogi and stop working, and it's the opposite. So you need people to be with you. You create or you leverage enterprise program, and you invite, of course, help, for instance, from Buddha CEO to get started. You can be local, but think global. With the technical tools now, we can do anything. Stay always in science. That's my learning from PSSM originally, and from, of course, what we do in Buddha CEO. I was always introducing meditation in IBM through science, and I introduced meditation to about 10,000 people. So it was very different. It could be engineers, it could be lawyers, it could be a lot of profiles. So science is very key: brain science, body science, quantum field science. Adapt to your audience, and always in business measure benefits. One of them in IBM was, employee survey. It was very formal, and it's clear that when I started to bring meditation to my business units, the employee survey was, very good and very green. And thanks to that, I had some material to prove to other organizations, other business units, and even to the top management that it was very beneficial, and by the way, the business was very good also, that, bringing meditation was a powerful tool. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. I want to thank you for, being there again, and inviting you to keep the contact with Buddha CEO, and not hesitate to ask for advice, or ask for help inside your own organization, being an association, a foundation, a business, anything that would help yourself grow and your team be happy and grow. Thank you so much.